Welcome to the Sci-Fi Diner podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Scott Herzog.
Good evening. I am Miles P. McLaughlin.
I'm Chrissy Raffensperger.
And I'm Dave Sellers.
And tonight we're doing something we haven't done in a very long time, and that is just kind of catch up what's going on in our own sci-fi world, apart from, reviewing movies, television series, and that sort of thing. And so that's kind of the goal of tonight's show. What else is on the docket, Miles?
Yeah, so we're going to, those of us that have watched any Starfleet Academy, we're going to share our thoughts about that. We're going to watch the final Hail Mary trailer. Hail Mary comes out everywhere March 20th. And we are going to drop an interview we did, Scott particularly did, at Shore Leave this past year with Mr. James Frain.
Yeah, it was a fabulous interview. I love talking to that guy.
So, and I think he loved talking to you, Scott.
Yeah. As an English teacher, he was really into the fact that I was doing that.
So I got to enjoy watching both of you talk.
Yeah, it was a nice interview too. I'm looking forward to listening to that again. So, But all right, well, we're going to start here a little bit by talking, what we've kind of been into, I guess, in our own sci-fi world. And who wants to start us out here?
I'm happy to start.
Okay.
Go for it, Miles.
So on Max, there was another Game of Thrones prequel series. It was a shorter one. A Night of the Seven Kingdoms on Max. That was interesting. Took it from the perspective of what they call hedge knights, which is probably just knights that often sleep under the hedges, and his story, and he does battle with one of the Targaryen princes at the end. But just seeing, him trying to make it in this world, and seeing maybe him being, a little disillusioned along the way, just seeing how the royalty treats everybody and stuff. So that's on Max now. I'm watching Orphan Black on Netflix, and I'm enjoying the heck out of it. Yeah. I don't know if Scott, I think you watched it at one time.
I don't think I watched. I watched maybe part of the first season. I don't recall ever getting through the entire series.
Okay.
I liked it, but I forget why. It's been a while. So.
Well, I'm now in season 2. So I'm, right now it's holding my interest. I think the actress who is the lead,
she was fantastic.
And she won an Emmy for it. I mean, she plays several different characters on this show. And so I'm enjoying the writing. I'm enjoying, her performance. I think she got an Emmy for what she did. This probably helped her land the role for She-Hulk a few years ago. But I'm enjoying that. Somebody we interviewed is on that show. He's got a big supporting role, Matt Frewer. So that's cool seeing him on this show. That's about it as far as what I'm watching. We'll talk more about Starfleet Academy. I did watch a few episodes of Starfleet Academy. I'm not watching it now. We'll talk about that more later. But been doing a lot of reading as far as science fiction time travel novels. I'm reading a book called Resonance by C. Seeger. Premise is things in the future are so bad that these scientists are basically harvesting resources from the past, and from millions of years ago. I just started that not that long ago. There's a series called Chrysalis by Jacques Voorhees. I've read the first 2 books in that series, and I'll read the third one when I get done this book. But I'm taking advantage of this thing on Amazon Kindle. If you pay $12 a month, you basically, there's like tons of books you can download and read, and then it's like a library program. But you're allowed so many books, but then after a while you have to, okay, if you want to read another book, out there, you have to turn some in and stuff. That's how I'm making use of that. Waiting for the next Star Trek book to come out. I think the next one is being put up by Dayton Ward. Looking forward to that. But yeah, that's all that's been going on in my sci-fi world at the moment. I'm looking forward to some new stuff. I'm thinking of maybe giving Babylon 5 a try, because there's not a lot of good. At least I'm not finding a lot of the newer stuff that engaging. So
Wait, by giving it a try, you mean you've never watched Babylon 5 before?
no, I never gave it a serious try. But I'm thinking I might maybe this year I might give it a try. Okay.
Do you know what we should do?
From
we should do for our next episode? We should watch the pilot to get them started.
Yes.
Okay.
There you go. We have our next episode, watching the pilot, rewatching the pilot of Babylon 5. That'll get them started. I mean, after all, Miles, we interviewed Mira Furlong. Come on.
We did. Mm-hmm.
You gotta.
Run that show.
It's a good series. I recommend it.
Okay. That's
Now,
a really
I'm picky.
Right. Her pickiness was. This is approved.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's got my stamp of approval on it. So it's probably very good.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, very cool. Dave, how about you? What's going on in your science fiction world universe?
Very science fiction-y stuff. Very, very thin.
What's going on in your nerd world?
Well, that we're going to get into a little bit too. I am up to date on Starfleet Academy. I have watched all.
We'll talk about that in a moment.
So far. Yep, which we're going to talk about. I just started over the weekend rewatching Firefly again, after seeing the little videos that Nathan Fillion has been putting out, where he's meeting all of his cast and giving a subtle hint to something that's coming.
Yeah, everyone's wondering, what does this all mean?
Yes. So I just started watching it again. I saw it was on Disney Plus and started that one. In the greater nerd world, I don't remember if I've talked about this before or not, but after my daughter watched all of Stranger Things and we finished season 5 all together as a family with a finale, she looks at me and says to me the words that every father wants to hear from his child: "Dad, can you teach me how to play D&D?" So, absolutely, Dad did. So, as I'm sitting there trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to do this? We sat down for a while and just kind of taught her a little bit of the mechanics and stuff, a little bit of this and that. And then I got the bright idea to go up to the local game shop, which is a couple blocks away from my house, to see if they had it. And they did. You see it over there. The Dungeons & Dragons Welcome to Hellfire Club prepackaged set. So brings in the Stranger Things theme that she likes. It has a bunch of started character sheets already up to levels 1, 2, and 3. And the problem is they're made for full parties. So she's the only one playing here. I'm trying to teach her a little bit of the game, so I started creating adventures for her. I'm going to tell you, using Gemini AI to help with this is magnificent. It has done a great job, especially with balancing encounters and creating, enemies and stuff, whatever creatures to fight, as far as balancing it out for a single character and doing enough in the adventure to keep her engaged. Because I'm not exactly the most creative person anymore.
Right.
But at least the ideas. And we have about five different adventures. No, 7 I've made up. The last 3 will put her up to level 3. And then we're going, when she hits level 3 and maxes the character sheet out, then we're going to create her own character.
That's
and
awesome.
She's going to get to go through that whole process and everything like that, and we'll continue on.
Do you know what you could do is you could have Gemini run the campaign for you so you could play with her.
Will it do that?
I can't. I don't see why not. You would say you roll this, and it could. I mean, it's generative, so it
You
could
could just say
posit it.
you are now my dungeon master, you Gemini, and I need you to give me campaign, and I would like you to. You could just prompt it and see what it does.
I know
That's
you
not a
can
bad
say
idea.
I rolled it. Just you can try it.
Yeah.
I know people
Yeah.
have done it. I know
Yeah.
people have done it.
Just something to try around with. It'd be
Who
interesting.
would
Did
have
you?
thought you were going to use an AI to be your dungeon master?
Yeah.
Listen, okay. So this factor of AI, if we can box
This would
that
be
section up and
like
keep that, yeah, everything else eject into space.
Yeah. Either that, or you get
only
Sean, or
need
you get Sean
AI to do
Astin
our
as
Dungeons and Dragons, okay? Other than that, we don't want it for any
Yeah,
other thing.
we don't want anything else.
you get Sean Astin to be your dungeon master. That's what you need.
Nah, not a fan of him.
But
But yeah,
anyways, yeah. Well, I think that's fantastic that you're teaching her that. That's great.
yeah, she's had a bit of fun with it. She's still trying to learn the intricacies of, okay, when you're playing this character, you are this character. You need to try to get into the role a little bit.
She hasn't learned her method of acting yet. She needs
Correct.
to get into the role. Okay.
Instead of asking me, can I do this? Say, hey, I want to do this. And I'll tell you yes or no. But we're getting there. She's getting the feel for it.
Good.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
That is awesome. That's awesome. Chrissy, how about you? What's going on in your science fiction universe?
Oh, it's going on my nerd world. Well, a bunch of people convinced me that I should give Fallout a try. So I am now watching season 1 of Fallout. I was told it's very close to the video game, which I haven't played, but I know, like, I've heard enough about it from other people that I have a pretty good grasp on what the plot is and what those sorts of things, because I just don't have that I don't have that. So far I definitely like it. It's the post-apocalyptic world, and what does it look like after a nuclear holocaust? 200 some odd years later, after the radiation has kind of, I guess, calmed down, and the people who were in the vaults versus the people who obviously didn't make it, and what does human society look like now, and what was lost, and just exploring obviously some of the cultural changes that would happen. And I mean, they don't hold any punches back. They're just like, the episode 1, you're just like, you're introduced to the idea that they were screwing their cousins down there in the vault because I guess you didn't have anyone else to do it with. So, and going with inbreeding. So I was like, oh, we're not pulling any punches. Okay, it's gonna be one of those shows. So, and immediately I was like, oh, I think this is gonna go down south pretty quickly, and it did. I did like the juxtaposition of the music versus what was going on screen, because it was appropriate, but it was also almost like a level of comedy to it. Like, it's almost like a dark humor that's going on. So if you're into that, you would like that show. So I'm excited to continue it. I will let you know if I get salty about it, but so far I'm enjoying it actually a lot. So
I'm a big fan of Walton Goggins, and when he play his portrayal of the ghoul in there is really cool.
yes, yeah, and I also just love like 1950s, 1940s music. So like I'm in my happy place the whole time. Like, yes. And just that kind of almost retro futuristic kind of a thing that of course Fallout is known for, which is a whole aesthetic that I just love. So yeah, so that's what I'm watching. I'm reading a book that's also like a post-apocalyptic world. It's called Homebound by Porta Ellen. So it came out it's coming out. I thought I already launched. Oh, yes. So I guess it's coming out. So far it's a really good book. It's about sorry, I was like, wait, did I end up with a yes, I actually ended up with an advanced reader's copy. So it's I was like, wait, I thought this already came out, but now I'm looking, it's coming out May 5th, 2026. So it's actually a really
you landed an advance copy.
yes, I have some connections places.
Oh,
Anyway, I was like,
nice.
I actually usually end up with them like right before they come out, and by the time I read them, like they're already anyways. But it's a really good book so far, so I 100% recommend it. It's really interesting because it doesn't tell the story in like a linear fashion. So it starts off in the past in the 1980s, and then it jumps to the future, which I think like what was that 2000? Hold on, was like 2586. So jumps way ahead, where of course like the glaciers have melted and the earth is flooded and they're running around on boats trying to like salvage things from the civilization. And it then jumps back and forth of like slightly ahead of time, like 2007, like 2070s, 2080s. And it follows one person in the 1980s, one person in like a ship's captain in 2500s, and it also follows like an advanced AI. And everything is connected through this computer program that someone had written back in the 1980s. I won't spoil it too much. But so it's the coding of cat. So sorry, he's just being an absolute brat. I know when I'm knocking over things. Yes, you're fine. So it's a really great book so far, and now that I'm realizing that it's not out yet, I thought it was. I won't spoil too much. But yeah, it will hit shelves in May, and I 1000% recommend that you pick it up at your local bookstore and read it.
Good.
Other cats.
Anything else? Anything else in your sci-fi world?
In my sci-fi world, no. In my nerd world, yes. Midnight, the next World of Warcraft expansion, is launching tomorrow, but I got the early access when I paid for the upgraded version. So
nice.
We have a new expansion. The Void Lords are trying to invade Azeroth, which it cracks me up to no end because Zalatoth was totally in my priest dagger the entire Legion invasion, and I'm just like, so we use this dagger supposedly to like save Azeroth, but apparently I had like unleashed some sort of Void Lord-esque queen thing, and I just was like using her to stab people the whole time. So I mean, oops.
Yeah.
It just cracked. It like the whole last expansion with War Within the Zalatoth. I just kept being like, so no one's gonna talk about the fact that the priest had this person in a dagger the whole time and accidentally unleashed her. No one is gonna talk about this. Okay, I mean, fair. I guess the priest is like, it wasn't me. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm totally not involved. So
that's funny.
I gotta get back into that game.
Oh, I should too, except it would be a time sink for me again.
No, like you don't have that anymore, Mr. Retiree.
Yeah, I'm spending it sinking my time into other things.
You could be a DPS. I'm a healer. My boyfriend's a tank.
I could.
We could do Mythic Plus together.
So let me get when you guys are playing, it would be like, I don't know, 1, 2 in the morning, and like I'm not up late enough as it is.
That's true.
I mean, I guess we could plan on the weekends, and we could just like get on early.
We could.
Then get late-ish. So I could in the morning, on like a Saturday, it'd be fine.
We would have to. We'll have to talk.
Yeah, you can join up. Fine.
There we go.
And then we have to peer pressure Miles, and then we have a full party, and I don't have to deal with pugs anymore.
I think the only MMO I ever saw Miles play was. Did you play Star Trek Online for a little bit?
For a little bit.
Yeah.
It didn't take. I'm just not a video game guy.
Yeah, I know. I know.
That is true.
I know.
We'll find someone else. It's fine. But if I have two DPS that I can rely on that actually aren't stupid and won't stand in crap, that they shouldn't, and actually will interrupt the things that need interrupted, because I'm frippin' busy keeping our tank alive. Why isn't the healer interrupting? I don't know, because I'm flipping busy keeping everyone else alive. Maybe you shouldn't stand in fire, and then we won't have this problem.
I'm
I
not
can't
the
feel
one you want to play
stupid.
with then.
But you're not stupid. I don't have to heal you and your stupidity.
You've not played the game with me.
Dave would be Leroy Jenkins.
Exactly.
What? Let me guess. You play a hunter, don't you?
No, I usually play I play a tank mainly.
I usually play a hunter.
Oh.
Just because I need
wait a
beat
minute.
up a lot. Because I just
So wait,
run in.
does that mean that he wouldn't have to tank and he could actually go on? He could go on misdemeanor. Oh yes, he could be on the rogue. Yes,
We're planning this
I
out already.
love
Party.
tank.
Figure this out later.
Sorry. I got distracted. Wait, you're a warrior tank. I love healing warrior tanks. They're like my favorite tanks to heal, honestly though.
All right.
Freaking love them. And you
well,
can
Dave.
It's fine. I can keep up. Don't you worry.
Yeah, we got this. Dave, you mentioned you were watching Firefly again. So Kristen and I. So Kristen, my wife, is one of the only sci-fi shows other than the X-Files that we ever loved together was Firefly. And so I showed her these videos that were popping up with Mal reaching out and hinting of something larger, right? And we don't know what that is yet. But it drove us to go back and watch. I think we're like in episode 6 now. Okay. And just really appreciating in general the tight writing of the show, and just the acting of it was just pretty incredible. So really I'm enjoying rewatching Firefly again. So it's definitely solid. So
it's like coming home.
Other than that, I haven't watched a lot of newer science fiction. I'm not watching Academy right now.
Should.
Maybe.
It's good stuff.
And then but I am reading. I just finished The Assassin's Apprentice, the Farseer, from the first book in the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb.
Oh, read that.
Yeah, it's really good. Although it wasn't as climactic. Like when he does his the first quasi assassination. It's not what I expected. I felt a little bit let down.
There's a lot less assassination in The Assassin's Apprentice than one would expect.
You would, yes, exactly. So
you're expecting to read about assassins, and you don't read about assassins. So I definitely feel like there's a switch that goes on.
It's an interesting way, and so I read it, and then I went from that into The Justice of Kings by Richard Swan, which has a female main character, which is fine, but both were. It took me like maybe 4 chapters in until I realized that it was a female main character. And I'm sure they gave hints earlier on. I just missed it in the audiobook. But that one's an interesting premise because you're following a justice around, and they're like going around the countryside, and the justice has some sort of power that is kind of attributed to him. And this girl's kind of like the clerk is the main character. So that's kind of interesting too. But both of them are told in a first person point of view, which is a bit, I'm not used to. I'm not reading a lot of books in the first person point of view. I guess Project Hail Mary was first person, but I came through like a lot of David Weber, and he doesn't write in first person. And I guess Jim Butcher does in the urban fantasy series, the Dresden Files. Yeah, that's all taught first person, but it's been a while. And then so getting back in, it kind of threw me a little bit that I got 2 back to back, but they weren't bad. They're good. They're good books. I'm in the middle of Justice of Kings, and I'm enjoying it. So And other than that, nerd world, I'm doing a lot of writing. I'm sending a lot. So I finished. I think probably most of you know I finished the first book that I had worked on for a while, and I'm in the process of sending it out to literary agents. So that's an interesting learning curve for me because I've never done that before. And I'm maybe a third of the way through the sequel to the book. So that's been occupying a lot of my memory, time, and thought. So
Nice.
So I'll be getting an advanced reader's copy of that as well, is what I'm hearing.
I can send you the EPUB now.
I would love that.
Yes, and then you can give me feedback. I had a student. So I had beta readers. I had maybe 4 or 5 beta readers give me feedback, and the feedback in general was really positive. I had one girl that was one of the girls that I helped her write her first book when I was teaching, and she did it, and her feedback was incredible. Like it caught things that I just didn't catch. Like one of the characters changes sex halfway through the book, unintentionally. Not like wasn't like a gender bender type thing. It was just I just shifted genders inadvertently and didn't notice.
This is the
The
best of
student
us.
has become the teacher.
Yeah, well, you know what it is she read it with a real critical eye. That I really appreciate that. When you write something and you spend hours in your own world, there's stuff that you're just too close to catch in a lot of ways. And so,
Well, it's
and it was real appreciative. I was real appreciative of it.
well, that's why you have like coaches and mentors and readers and everything else, because like when you are close to something, you are less likely to catch it.
Yeah, yeah. So, so yeah, that's kind of what's been going on in my world, and that's kind of what's been my focus. So.
Nice.
So let's
I
talk
look
Star.
forward
What was
to
that?
reading it. I said I look forward to reading it.
Oh yeah, very good. I will drop it in so you can read it.
Perfect.
Um, so let's talk Starfleet Academy. This was a show, if I recall correctly, Dave, Miles, that you folks were not excited about because this is the Discovery timeline we're in.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So let's talk. Miles, Dave, I don't care who goes first here.
Well, Miles, since you haven't watched the entire set yet, why don't you start us off with what your
Okay.
impressions were?
So when we did our year end, I actually said I'm looking forward to this show. I'm cautiously optimistic. It's very polarizing as far as the fans go. What they've seen so far, and yeah, the fact that it was happening in the 32nd century, I wasn't thrilled by that. But I was able to go with certain things that a lot of the fans were objecting to, like this female Jem'Hadar. Well, we find out she's a Jem'Hadar Klingon hybrid, and it's like we never saw a female Jem'Hadar in Deep Space Nine. And I'm like, well, it's 800 years in the future from that. Life finds a way. That's fine. That
Or
didn't bother me.
science.
Or yes, well,
Science in different ways.
I'm referencing Jurassic Park. When the dinosaurs are, they only try to, breed, clone females, and Jeff go, and then they find that we have dinosaurs procreating, and Jeff Goldblum's character says it perfectly: life finds a way.
Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm.
And if not, science will find a way for it.
Yep. I watched the first episode, and I thought, okay, this is kind of interesting. The main cadet, he's got an interesting backstory. He's trying to find his mother, and so the first episode, I thought, okay, I'll give it a second watch. That they bring the betazoids into it, and I thought, okay, that was kind of interesting. And then the third one I saw, I didn't like as much. Some of the I wasn't sure what I would think of some of the characters, but some of these characters are just not likable for me. And the character who plays Sam, she's just very overwhelming. I just and the Jem'Hadar Klingon hybrid, I'm not sure I like her character much either. I find her a bit overwhelming too. I think I watched one or two more episodes of it, and I was like, nope, I'm done. The show is going to a place politically and socially that I'm just not. I don't resonate with, and if that's the way they want to go, they could go that way. I heard that they're going to do the second season is filming now, if it hasn't already been finished yet. So the network is behind this show. We'll see if it gets a third season, but yeah, I mean, I wasn't thrilled with Lower Decks, but I still watched it because I wanted to see, catch any references or whatever. But this show I've given up on. I'm going to sound like a boomer or sound like somebody who's said about other Star Trek shows. It's just not my Star Trek. It lost me. But I will say this: if listeners, if you're watching and you like it and you're getting entertained by it, great. I'm not going to nerd rage how I hate the show. I'm just going to say it's not for me, and I moved on. I hope we get other Star Trek out there. I hope we do get a year one or a legacy Star Trek in the future. But yeah, I don't care for this at all.
Fair.
Well, you still have Strange New Worlds to look forward to.
We have a season and a half of Strange New Worlds, and if they do a Star Trek year one, but watching fans talk about it, it's very polarizing. There's some people that think what they're doing is great, and other people think this is crap. There isn't as much. There's not a lot of in between as far as how the fans feel about this show.
Miles, but I have one question that I must ask you. Is it better or worse than what J.J. Abrams did to Star Trek? That's what I need.
Oh, well, see, I'm not the hater of J.J. Trek. That's a question for Dave.
It is, but
JJ, the Kelvin timeline is not without its flaws, but I still enjoyed the movies.
I mean,
I think the third one was the most Star Trek of them all. I'm sorry we never got a fourth one, but I had a feeling it wasn't going to happen after the third film didn't do great at the box office. Yeah. So if you're asking my preference, I definitely prefer Kelvin timeline Trek over Starfleet Academy.
All right. Very good. Very good.
What about you, Dave?
Dave.
I see the stroking of the beard. I'm a little concerned.
The stroking of the wisdom.
In the words of WWE superstar LA Knight, let me talk to you.
All right, let's talk.
So, I am surprised that I do not hate it as much as I think I should. Okay.
This is Discovery era, right?
This is Discovery era.
Yes. Is this?
And if I recall correctly, Dave, Discovery was not your favorite Star Trek.
No, it is ranked down at the bottom of the bottom. It has its moments that it is. Okay. What makes this actually somewhat attractive for me is there is a hint to me of nostalgia in the way the story carries itself. Growing up in the era of 90210, Party of Five, all of those types of shows, those teenage angst drama shows from back in the 90s that weren't my thing, but this is carrying a lot of that along with it. Okay? However, what has me raging a bit about it is much of the garbage that they shove into this for the sake of making social statements. And it's not that they're shoving it in there, because this stuff has always been around in Star Trek, as we know.
Right.
But
Absolutely.
But it has never been. It's been there. It's just been there. It's been acted and treated naturally, even from the original series. It's been in there. Yeah, it's there. We're not going to make a big deal about it, because to us, it's not a big deal, because this is hundreds of years in the future, right? Now we're putting it and highlighting it and pushing it out there, because we're signaling that we have it here for a reason. Your Jem'Hadar Klingon commander, instructor, the academy, whatever it is in a lesbian relationship with Jet Reno. We remember her from Star Trek Discovery, the engineer, Tig Notaro's character. Okay, fine, whatever. But you've made it a point of highlighting it and showing it in there. It's like, okay, I don't care. I don't need that. You want to do it, fine. I don't care enough about it. What they have done to the Klingon character in this show is absolutely horrendous. I understand Klingons are a big species, but not anymore, apparently. Apparently, after the burn through all this thing, their empire's dissolved up, and it's a whole mess. And the Klingon character you have has no desire to be a warrior. He's a wuss. He is a giant wuss. And they're making him gay. Why? I don't care that that's what it is, but why are you doing this with this race of character?
It doesn't seem very Klingon.
It doesn't seem very Klingon. When I put it into and again, I could be reading way too much into this, because everybody's hyperly sensitive to these things and seeing these things in entertainment now, because it's been shoved in there so much. But if you want to take the view of masculinity, like this toxic masculinity crap that everybody spews around out of there, and you want to find something in Star Trek that shows that, what's more masculine than a Klingon? Right?
Even the women.
Even the women.
Yeah.
Although they do read poetry, I'm just saying.
Hey.
They do.
Although that's also very, very masculine.
I'm going to say that. Yeah.
The samurai and the this and the that.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
Yes.
So what better
in medieval Japan? But anyways, I digress.
Right. So what better way to socially destroy this construct than taking what would be the most masculine character you have, making him a complete and utter pansy, and making him gay?
Well, and if your point is to destroy toxic masculinity, wouldn't it be better to demonstrate the Klingon having the masculinity and expressing it in a healthy way, if we're going to critique it as an example of toxic masculinity? Because instead of tearing it down, we could actually build it up to be a good example for what we are looking for with our masculinity. I'm just
stop arguing.
This is why we have a
logic.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, this is what are you, a Vulcan psychologist?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we could get some pointy ears. I could pull that out.
Pointy-eared bastard. Go ahead.
That character arc right there has really chapped me up pretty good. The rest of it has been, perfectly fine. The head of the academy there seems to be, I think, the same race as the engineer on Strange New Worlds. They live thousands of years. and get through all this stuff. She's a really entertaining character. I really do have come to like her a bit, minus her voice a little bit. That gets a little grating at times, but the actress does a wonderful job. They have given a little more love to Deep Space Nine than I think any Star Trek really has since Deep Space Nine. They had a whole episode talking about what happened to Ben Sisko. They even brought Sarek Lofton in, reprising his role as Jake in a hologram form. That episode was probably my favorite. I'm not going to lie, that made me a little, happy a bit. But then you ruin it because the holographic character Sam is the one exploring the history of Ben Sisko, and as Miles said, quite overly eccentric. When I thought Tilly in Discovery was annoying, Sam has her beat by a factor of 10, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought Tilly back in too for some reason. Guess people really liked her. The other one that just kind of just grades at me a little bit is when you're looking around at all the people there. There are a lot of overweight individuals, and I say this as a overweight individual. And I saw something online where someone pointed this out, and the response they got was so hateful by people saying, "Why are you body shaming? This Star Trek's always been inclusive and all this crap." I said, no. This Star Trek especially is set even farther into the future. Aside from Jimmy Doohan, what's the last fat Starfleet officer you've ever seen in any Star Trek? No, I can't think of one either. Not because it's a picture of what we think beauty in people look like and all this that woke crap. Because right now obesity is such a bad epidemic, leading to heart disease, death, all kinds of sickness. You'd think maybe several hundred years in the future we figured out a little hypo spray to fix that. We got Ozempic now, stabbing yourself in the belly with it. Star Trek has always provided a picture of the best of humanity moving forward and the things that we've overcome and the things we've accomplished. We've overcome disease in Star Trek. We've overcome racism in Star Trek, sexism in Star Trek. We can't overcome being fat. We have to include this to signal our virtue because we have overweight people in here? Well, no, because that's not healthy. We've beaten all this stuff. Why is this any different?
It's not believable either.
It's not believable. Yeah. So, maybe. Yeah. So it's just those things that get thrown into there, into this stuff that
Well, when you look at when you look at a lot of scientists today who are out National Geographic people or going down to Antarctica, a lot of them are pretty fit because they have to be with the way that they explore and the exercise and everything else. I'm not saying that we don't have overweight scientists. We 100% do. It's just that most of the time when I'm seeing pictures of this person is out in the jungle all day, categorizing weird hummingbirds and tracking monarch butterflies through Mexico. Most of them are actually pretty wiry. If anything, some of them look like they're underweight. And could maybe use a couple of nights out with some pizza.
Right.
So I'm just highlighting that more of if these people are going to be exploring and running around and doing things, most of them are pretty fit just because the nature of the job that they're doing is a very physical, demanding job. And not always a lot of time to eat. So,
yeah. And
it never occurred to me that Star Trek wouldn't have more fit people because I'm well, they're training and exercising and doing all of these things and trying to make sure that they're going to be fit enough to go down into weird, that is a lot of stress and strain on one's heart to go, think of all the different gravities that they have to deal with on all the different planets they go to. I mean,
yeah.
why haven't we seen more of that in Star Trek episodes? Of like how like the planet, they definitely would have had more. Huh.
That too
Sorry,
many
my
effects.
brain
Yeah,
went to the fact that like the planets would all have slightly different gravities, even
yeah.
if it was a similar
Yeah.
size as Earth, and how that would affect them because that breathable air, yeah, but gravity. I never thought about that until just now. Huh.
And
Anyways,
even then, keep it in the realm there.
So there's something else I didn't care for. I mean, it was played for laughs, but the cadet that said, I swallowed my comm badge.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, that's not funny. That's stupid. I
yeah,
mean, it's like
yeah.
Starfleet Academy is supposed to be the best of the best. You're not going to get, and I want, it's like the inclusivity thing is like, we're going to,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what thing you're suffering from, it's fine as long as you could,
Yeah.
pass the entrance exam and or maybe even just
The premise of the show is great. That they've just gotten, and honestly, I think this is why this series has been panned and rated so low by fans. The same reason Discovery got panned and started falling in the ratings with it, and why things like Strange New Worlds and Picard were at the top, were much higher in the list. These things are introducing all of this social crap shoved into it to have it in there, and the other stuff's not.
well, and you can put stuff in there, but you also have to trust. Star Trek has always trusted the audience to be able to watch something and see it, and it not
Yes.
necessarily need to be explained. Like no one had to explain the interracial kiss that happened. No one had to explain the equality of the men and women in positions of power. It's just it was so normalized, no one even comments on it, and so that's what you're supposed to see is aha, in a utopian society this is what will happen, and so we don't need to make a big deal of it because you may as well make a big deal about the sun shining. Like
Right.
it's happening, it always happens, like we don't care, it's nothing to comment on. And there's a lot more of sophistication that you can utilize when you're not bludgeoning people over the head with it and trusting your audience. You can create a lot more sophisticated breakdown of showing the reviews of what you're trying to explore.
This is where it's at in IMDb. Just to let you know, you'll see at the very low end, one is the highest.
Yep.
With tens, their average view is lower than even any of the V episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And like I was saying earlier with the whole breaking down the toxic masculinity, you could have an amazing Klingon character that explains that and explores that in a much more nuanced, sophisticated way. And I think that you would have had a lot more enjoyable character. And he still could have been gay. That would probably whatever. Nearest to God, I don't care. But if that's the purpose of that character, you could do so much more and have so many more interesting storylines from that. Because I've seen, in books and stories and movies, two different the same message being sent two very different ways. In one way, I'm like, I hate this, and another way, I'm like, that's actually a really intriguing point that you're making there. Please tell me more. Let's talk about this. Let's go back and forth. And I've loved it. I loved having ideas and viewpoints challenged. As I'm exploring things in my media. I don't like it when it's basically like, this is the right way to think. Bang on head.
This is the story. It's one thing to have it as be a character, but
Next Gen was bringing all of those things to light in the most perfect way they could. Is what made it great. They were exploring transgenderism in the 90s in the Next Generation, and you didn't know. You weren't looking at that going, oh, what are they trying? It was just part of it.
Because they trusted the audience.
Exactly.
To be able to look at it, read into it, and explore this idea without it being a whole thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about Star Trek traditionally, is that they trust their audience to be intelligent and sophisticated enough to follow the story, and they don't have to like spoon feed it to us like little children going, here's the airplane, open your mouth. Like.
Oh, and they brought Dax back.
Mm-hmm.
There is a new Dax there. She's, you see the Trill spots, but I think she's also Cardassian, by the way it look of it.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Maybe she was a Cardassian Trill hybrid or something.
Yeah. So that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of cool. Yeah. But yeah, the stories they're telling in there have been really interesting. Like they've been good stories. Could they be better? I should say they could be. Could they be told better? 100%. Could we do without all this social commentary garbage in here? 100%. But I'm still interested to see how it continues to go. So I'll continue to watch it, if for no other reason.
You will have to let us know, Dave.
Yeah.
Well, maybe after season 1, and they get some feedback that basically says, "Listen, we love the social commentary in Star Trek. We do."
They won't listen.
Curses.
They won't.
They won't. Stop rewarding them by watching it.
Well, people have. That's the problem. Like it.
And who are some of the people who are doing that, Dave?
Hey, I'm doing this for legitimate journalistic purposes for this show.
To report on the Sci-Fi Diner.
I'm watching it so you all don't have to.
Yes, very good.
Take it work for the team, Dave.
We really appreciate it. Really appreciate it.
Your sacrifice is noted.
Yes. Well, Miles, I think we're going to table the Project Hail Mary trailer, if that's okay, because of time here. But linking into the Discoveryverse is the actor that we had a chance to interview at Shore Leave this year. Because he was on Discovery. Go ahead, Miles.
Yeah, so, I mean, yes, he was on Discovery. He's done a lot of like period type stuff,
like True Blood. He was in Tron Legacy.
Mm-hmm. He was also in the first season of True Detective.
Okay.
He played a cop, but he played with an American accent. But yeah,
and he was Quantum Leap too.
He was he had a good part in Quantum Leap the last season.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is James Frain. Is that the way you say his name? James Frain, I think. And I told my wife I had a chance to interview with Shore Leave, and she was like, The Tudors, because she had watched The Tudors, and I loved him from that. So quite prolific career, and a lot of science fiction among his credits. So, and even in Call of Duty, he was the voice of Oliver Hamm's voice in Call of Duty. So if you're a Call of Duty person. So we had a chance to interview him at Shore Leave in 2025. And anything else we need to say about that?
No, I hope you enjoy the interview.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy the interview. Sci-Fi Diner, and we're here with James Frain at Shore Leave, and it's fantastic to be sitting down and chatting with you.
It's fantastic to chat with you.
So before we get into the geeky, go ahead.
Hi.
So before we get into science fiction,
so sweet, yeah, man. It's
I know.
unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
So before we get into science fiction,
Yeah.
I'm an English teacher. I see that you have
brother.
a Shakespearean background. At least you've done a fair amount of Shakespearean, or done some at least.
What do you teach? Where?
English.
Where?
So I teach at Penn Manor High School. It's about a half an hour from here.
Okay. I met some English teachers yesterday. As far as I'm concerned, you guys are heroes. You're saving the culture. And I offered to do a Zoom with the students of those teachers. I'm offering you that too, if you're interested. If you want me to. If they, show a bit of the Tudors, I could talk to we set up a Zoom with the class, and I can talk about like that and Elizabethan England, Shakespeare, whatever.
Oh,
you
that
want.
would be great. That would be awesome. That'd be
God bless
awesome.
you for doing
So I'll
that.
get contact information for you about that.
Yes.
Okay, at the end.
Yeah.
I'll remember to do that. That would be great.
No, I mean,
So-
I'm happy to help.
So what, since we're talking about that, what is your favorite Shakespearean play for you?
Hamlet.
Hamlet. And why Hamlet?
I'm actually teaching a course on it right now.
Oh, you are?
At LA Conservatory, yeah.
Okay.
And Hamlet, for so many reasons, it contains all the other plays. It's in a lot of ways, it's such a personal play to him, and you can feel it. You know, he wrote it just after his son died, or rather, he rewrote it and he rewrote it and he rewrote it. He was obsessed with this play. It has everything in it. It has the play within the play. It has acting and theatre as a metaphor for life. His philosophy, his religion, it has like war and violence and vengeance and ghosts, and it's got everything. It's got great comic scenes. It's got all the the big hits, the big hit monologues.
Right. So my favorite play, only because I've taught it probably 30 or 40 times, is Romeo and Juliet.
Ah, yeah.
Classic. But what I appreciated about really any Shakespeare I've taught is the more I've read it, the more I realized was there.
Always.
There's so many layers.
It's
like you read it
endless.
in one, it's a love story, but it's more than that. And there's the humor and the little jokes you pick up. 40 times I read this thing, I'm still learning from it.
Oh yeah, no, it's endless.
It is.
It's endless. Someone once said, he's still ahead of us.
Interesting.
We're still catching up with him.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah. And what's interesting is they didn't know that at the time. No one went around going, "Oh, here's the genius Shakespeare." It was just like another actor, another playwright, who was smart enough to buy shares in setting up the Globe, which meant that he got to write his own plays. Everyone else had to collaborate because they didn't get paid anything.
Right.
They were like screenwriters.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I guess the next question is, how does your interest in Shakespeare, how does that inform your work in science fiction?
So I've been talking to a lot of people about this recently, right? Either going in the past or going in the future, or really just going anywhere now. It's an act of an imagination. It's an act of time travel. And it's, it's still kind of sci-fi, right? It's genre where it's like people, they're like us, but they wear different clothes, they have different cultural environments, they have different, preoccupations. But it's always us, human beings. We haven't changed at all. And you plop us in, 16th century or 25th century in outer space, it's still interesting because it always gives you a little bit of an angle on us now by changing the sort of background, changing the context. So I see it as all the same. But also, that's the thing about doing Shakespeare is like, if you do, you're trained as Shakespearean actor, you play good guys, you play bad guys, you play comedians, you don't have a sense of like what my role is.
Right.
That's something that happens more when you go into film, where they're like, do the last thing you did over and over and over again.
Yeah. Right.
So, but it gave me a sense of like the range of characters and all that kind of stuff.
Right. So obviously you're here shortly in part because of your work in Star Trek and playing
in total part.
Yeah, total. Well, just Tron and like,
sure. These are all this backs it up.
But really, you're right. Because
this
of
is
your work.
This is a Trek Fest, right?
It is, right? Yeah, right.
And it's the oldest, isn't it?
Right. One of the oldest.
Yeah.
Oldest fan run. Yes.
46 years.
Yeah. So it's amazing. So you stepped into a work in which there were 3 movies and maybe a couple odd episodes that kind of set it up before you came along to take over the role of Sarek.
Yeah.
So did that give you freedom? Was it limiting? I mean, how did you find in prepping for it? And maybe also as part of that, did your work in Shakespeare play into playing this role of Sarek at all?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, it definitely did with Patrick Stewart, didn't it?
Right.
Maybe. I hadn't thought of that. It's a good question. So the interesting thing is its backstory, right? So we have Mark Leonard's incredible performance, which of course I watched, and we're all very aware of our obligation to the fans, because the fans own this.
Right.
You know, we come and go. So,
right.
And they're very aware on set. They're like, you can't say that's not in the Bible. There's someone in the corner with the Bible. It's like literally, no, Deuteronomy 4:6.
Yeah,
you know,
would not say
star
this.
dates. You cannot, you know. It doesn't fit in the timeline because we trapped ourselves in the timeline.
Right.
After 2 seasons, they're like, you know, we're going to jump in the future. Sorry, James, we have to leave you behind. But so yeah, I watched his performance and I thought, well, this is kind of interesting because that's where he ends up. Oh, hi. So where might he begin? Oh, hi. That was the freedom to kind of move.
Right.
It's like, because we change in life, right?
Right.
So if that's who he ends up, like
what led him to that?
What's the younger guy?
Yeah.
And then they introduce this new character who's a stepdaughter, and so that introduced, you know, who's human, which is part of his, because he married a human, right? So I got very interested also in like, how do you play someone who has no emotion? And so I looked at the research into the Vulcan pre-story, that they were originally a very violent species, and they had a huge nuclear war, and after that they decided we cannot ever do that again, and so they decided to suppress all emotion because emotion causes war. So I'm like, oh, so all the feelings are going on under the surface.
Right.
So that's very like film acting. It's also very like what British culture used to be in the 19th century and the early 20th century. It's not at all what British culture was in Shakespeare's time. That's a late invention. That came around very, very late. In Shakespeare's time, the English were known as extremely passionate and expressive. So that's, you know.
Interesting. It reminds me.
So we'd be Vulcans, I guess I'm saying.
Yes.
Original Vulcans.
It's interesting. So I grew up in Mennonite culture, German Mennonite culture here, and that was very true of that. Emotion, conflict, very squashed. So it's interesting that you said it was British culture too. That's interesting that background is there. Do you find British culture still that way today?
No.
So a little bit more freedom today.
Yeah, I mean it's changed because that's a class thing. I mean we still have class in England, but it's just a kind of inconvenient kind of sort of residue
Of the past.
Yeah, I mean there they are. We have to deal with them, you know. But everyone likes the royal family, and they like the idea of the castles and the aristocracy and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, like I think England had a rebirth in the Second World War, and then after that, we're like, actually, we're a socialist country now, and we're a working class country now, and it was a complete change in mores, and so that idea of like a repressive upper class suppression slowly went away, and then we just have been copying America ever since, right? We're like,
is that a good
rock
thing?
and roll came along, blues came along, and we were like, oh, we like that.
Yeah.
And then so did the rest of the world.
Right.
So,
That's awesome. So, your background, were you into science fiction prior to doing some of these, like True Blood and Tron and Star Trek?
Yeah.
Did you have an interest in that growing up at all?
Yeah, of course. So,
What resonated with you?
So I was obsessed with this comic book called 2000 AD, which was a British comic book set in America. It was post-apocalyptic. There was a character called Judge Dredd. They made a couple of movies that didn't take off, but that's where Judge Dredd comes from. That was my obsession as a child. I was also obsessed with the Bionic Man. He was my guy. And I remember, like it was yesterday, watching Close Encounters as a 7-year-old in the theater for the first time, and just being like, oh my God. I mean, that to me was epic experience of what an imagination can do, because it was also so real, you know? His obsession with the mashed potato tower. I mean, come on, man. And, you know, like aliens talking through music. I mean, it was all like mind-blowing and beautiful. Such a beautiful film. and then of course Blade Runner. So I associated with these huge cinematic experiences, which were like so larger than life, and then also that comic book kind of thing, which was very personal. So
Awesome.
yeah,
I'm right now.
That's great. So tell us a little bit about landing the role of Sarek on Star Trek.
well, it landed me.
It landed you. So
Yeah.
they said, hey, we want him for the role.
No, they wanted someone else.
Okay.
Do you not know this phrase?
I don't.
In Hollywood, you're always fifth choice.
I've never heard that.
So there it is.
There you go. Always fifth choice.
You're
You were
always fifth
You were
choice.
fifth choice.
I might have been 23rd for all we know.
Right.
But what I know is that the day before the read-through, I got the offer. So I think they had someone else.
Do you know?
No, because they don't tell us that.
They don't tell us that.
No. That happens all the time. Dude, the role I got in Tron, I actually auditioned for another role. This guy had to drop out. And I got an email saying, can you send in your sizes? Because they've already built the costume for this other character.
And did you order the sizes?
I fit the costume, so I got the role.
Just when you're hoping your acting carries you, it's your body.
It's never. It's never what you think it is.
We're going to pause.
Oh yeah.
Hi.
Hey.
Seems the Vulcan not giving the Vulcan salute.
I was doing it behind your back.
Oh, okay.
That's right. That's right.
I was actually trying to operate you as a ventriloquist.
So I would do it.
Oh no, she's not doing a Vulcan salute either.
No, she's not Vulcan.
Fair, but neither are they. So only non-Vulcans do Vulcan salutes.
Apparently.
Okay, to...
Just your signature to be fine.
Okay. Do you want me to write Sarek? Do you want me to draw a Vulcan? No.
No, draw the
You
Vulcan
draw the
ears
hand
on.
right there.
Draw the ears on. You know. So it's good. Did you like study Mark Leonard?
Yes, of course.
So, trying to match up what he did.
Well,
Or
I don't
just
think you
take it
can
from
match
there.
it. I just wanted to have it in the
Idea.
background. Yeah,
Okay.
a sense of where I'm headed. You know.
Okay, yeah, because you're pre him.
Exactly.
For stuff. Yeah, they should get you on. Strange New World now. Obviously, you won't see Spock, but you could interact some other way.
Please feel free to write Paramount Plus.
All right.
I'm
Let
very
them
much
know.
available.
Jake,
All right, bro. Good to meet you.
bye.
I don't know where we were at. That was.
You know what? It's something else about this, the sci-fi world, and this is what I've learned from going to conventions, is that there is something very kind of Shakespeare-like about this universe, right? There are these mythic, larger-than-life characters who are also very human, and there is this sort of...
There's also this nobility, almost. Like we look at the captains and we hold these up, like lower decks is maybe the exception, but you hold these people up and you say, oh, they're also human.
Mm-hmm.
But there's people that we kind of look up to and we say, we could be this way, right? We can aspire.
Yeah, there's a nobility that is a sort of spiritual nobility,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
Totally like that.
And I think that that's the best way to understand what nobility means in Shakespeare. Like,
Right.
We have, so like I was saying that stuff about Elizabethan England because we tend to read backwards history through the empire, but this was before the empire.
Right.
England was like a fourth-rate power at that time. It was
Right.
like, thanks for coming. You know?
Yes.
There was Spain, there was France, there was the Holy Roman Empire, and then England. And so it was very different than our understanding of like what happened 300 years later.
Right. It's kind of amazing. So, I don't want to take up all your time here, but tell us a little bit about what you have in the future that you can tell us to look forward to. Anything that you can tell us about?
I can't tell you anything about it, but I'm writing and directing now, so I'm kind of transitioning into creating my own material.
Okay, are you going to still be acting if the opportunity comes?
Oh yeah, I'll be acting until I drop.
Okay.
It's more than a passion.
So, but
When I went to drama school, they said to us, you know, the last group as we kind of got selected through, they came in the room and said, if there's anyone here who can do anything else, or who wants to do anything else, our advice to you is to leave right now. Because this is an impossibly difficult profession. 98% of you will not work. And then some people leave and some people stay. And then afterwards I said to the people when I got in, they were like, why did you ask that question? What are you doing? And they're like, what that does is that leaves us with the people who have to do it, as opposed to the people who want to do it. Because there's plenty of people who have talented,
Right.
and there's plenty of people who want it, but you have to do it. Otherwise, there's no way you'd be able to survive the level of rejection that is a day-to-day. You know? Because I remember my sister was staying with me one time, and I was like auditioning and working and stuff, and she was just like, I could never do this. I could never do what you do. And I was like, why? Because of the exposure, the interviews, the lack of anonymity. And she goes, the level of rejection that you have on a daily basis. And I was like, I'm in a purple patch. Like, this is as good as it gets. So it's kind of like, you just get used to, you bat one, you hit one, and you bat 100, and that's
Right.
that just is the norm.
And you got to just say it's not personal.
It's never personal.
It's never personal. It's like we don't have the look, doesn't have quite the sound. We have a connection with someone else. There's 1,000.
We
reasons.
don't like his hair. I mean,
Right,
I've heard
right.
that. I'm like, I can change my hair.
Yeah.
They're like, no. There's
Well, I asked you, what's the craziest rejection you ever had that you can remember?
Well, you don't know because
They don't tell you.
That's how you know you didn't get it. They never call again. Yeah, you know you got it because they call.
Right. And otherwise,
But they don't call you, they call the agent.
Right.
So that's just not, the thing is they're casting hundreds of roles all the time. They've got thousands of actors coming in and going. There's no time for sorry you didn't get it.
Right.
They're just like, you just disappear.
You're like, well, I guess I'm applying for the next thing.
Exactly,
Right.
you just keep hitting. You just
That's
keep
right.
hitting.
That's right. What is the one thing about life that you've learned through your career? Just about life in general, not necessarily about acting, but one of the things that it's taught you, a lesson.
You don't get a redo.
You don't get to read it.
You don't get another take. You learn stuff and you want to go back and fix things, but things only go forward. And I've learned that from acting, right? Because you do a take, and you want a better take, At the end of that, they're like, that's the best you can get on the day, right? And then the next day you're like, oh, I'd like to go back and fix that. But you can't. So you have to let go of that. You're just always moving forward. And you do the best you can in the moment. It's never enough. You're never satisfied. And you have to make peace with that. So I've learned that.
And that's true of life, too.
Exactly, my friend. That was your question.
Right, exactly.
Right.
It's very true.
Not that I live that,
Right.
but that I know that's how I'm supposed to live.
Right. It's not that you feel that way 100% of the time.
No, God, no.
Well, thank you so much for chatting with us.
My pleasure.
All right. Well, hopefully you enjoyed that interview. Remember that in 2 weeks, we will be reviewing Babylon 5, the first pilot episode. So we look forward to that and starting Miles on his Babylon 5 journey.
Yep, I need some good sci-fi, so I'm looking at some classic stuff.
Yes, yes. So the new stuff isn't grabbing you, Miles. That's what I'm hearing.
It really isn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you know how Fallout is, if you like post-apocalyptic worlds, and I'll finish Homebound and let you know the rest of my review.
There you go. Looking forward to it. All right, Miles, why don't you take us out of the show?
All right, till next time, good night and good luck.
We'll see you.
Leave your tips on the table.
And go boldly.